simple equations. This is a topic that probably starts in year 7 and will never leave you alone. In order to solve equations, you need to know how to undo certain operations. To undo add, we take away. To undo take away, we add. It's simple. To undo times, we divide. To undo divide, as you can see, is times. Sometimes you have to undo something which is squared. Then you have to take square root. Sometimes you have to undo square root, which is going to be square, whether it's x or whatever the function is. Let's have a very simple equation here. X plus 4 equals 10. That means I've got on this side a number plus 4. On this side is 10. When I said this side and that side, we have to the right hand side and the left hand side of the equal sign. Everything on the left hand side must balance everything on the other side. The aim of this question is, what is the value of x? Find x. Means what value of x at 4 makes 10? Well, everybody knows 6 at 4 makes 10. To show our operations, we need to get rid of plus 4 or positive 4 here. X being added to 4. To undo add, we take away. We take away 4 from both sides. Obviously, plus 4, take away 4, nothing. So x equals 10 take away 4, which is 6. So that is your answer. And when you put it back into the original equation, you can see 6 at 4 makes sense, is 10. If it's a negative number, or x take away something equals, for sake of argument, 8, you need to go to the side where there is x. X could be on the right hand side, could be on the left hand side. On this occasion, x on the left hand side. You need to get rid of negative 5 or minus 5. To undo minus, you plus. So you plus exactly the same amount of digits there. So x equals 13. Check again. Would 13 take away 5 makes 8? Yes, so the answer is correct. What about when a number is multiplied by x? 4x means 4 times x. To undo times, we divide. So let's write both sides, and we divide both sides by 4. 4 and 4 would cancel. So 1 lots of x is 20 divided by 4, which is 5. 4 times 5 is 20. Sometimes my unknown number is divided by a number, and I'm told this is, say, equals 5. X being divided, as you remember, one sign of divide is a fraction line. A number divided by 6, and the answer is 5. What's that number? These are very simple question. You can even guess the number or just do it in your head. In order to show the procedure and show you the method, we write both sides again. And I'm going to times both sides by 6. Why? Because x being divided by 6. To undo divide, if you remember here, is times. So So here I'm going to times both sides by 6. Now look where I put 6. The 6 should be really above the continuation of that fraction line. If it's any lower, then you cannot cancel 6 and 6. One has to be at the top, one has to be at the bottom of the fraction. So the position of 6 is important. That 6 belongs to the top of the fraction. This is where we can cancel 6 and 6. So x equals 30. If you check, 30 divided by 6 is 5. Now, let's make it more interesting. Here we have 2x minus 4 equals 9. Look, the x is on the left-hand side. Therefore, I need to get rid of all the numbers which are on the left-hand side to make x on its own. The numbers which are multiplied by x, I leave it till last. Let's get rid of minus 4. To undo minus is plus, so I do plus 4 on both sides. They cancel, so we have 2x equals 13. So one of the problems gone, minus 4 has disappeared. Now let's get rid of 2. As you've done before, 2x means 2 times x. To undo times, we divide. You have to divide both sides. It's an equation, it's a balance. You can't do it to only one side. So here, 1 times x, x divided by 1, still x. 13 divided by 2 is 6.5. Now, let's do a more coefficient on the x side. Now I've got 3 numbers on the left-hand side where I need to get rid of. Numbers like 3, which is multiplied, and numbers like 2, where x is divided by, I leave it after I've finished with this plus 5, minus 5, any constant which is really not attached by means of multiplication and division to the x. So here I'm going to get rid of, take away 5, which is adding 5 to both sides. So we have 3x over 2, no minus 5 left here, so that becomes 11. Now, 3 is multiplied, x being divided by 2. You can get rid of either of them, but I think to get rid of fraction is always wise. So what I'm going to do, I want to get rid of divide by 2. So I'm going to times both sides. Don't forget both sides. Otherwise you ruin the balance of the equation. So we've got 3x equal 22. Final step, get rid of x. Sorry, get rid of 3 to find x. So x now found to be 22 over 3, which is 3 goes into 22 7 times, that 21, remain the 1, 7 1/3. Let's do more questions now. Here is more examples. This time I'm involving brackets in my question. Say I got x plus 3 lots of x plus 1 equals 8. Well, we need to remove the brackets. I've got 1x here. I've got plus lots of 3x here. And plus lots of plus 1s. So plus times plus is plus, 3 times 1 is 3, equals 8. We simplify. 1x and 3x, that's 4x, plus 3 equals 8. Now I need to get rid of plus 3 and then 4. Obviously plus 3 means 3 added to 4x, and 4 means 4 is multiplied by x. So to get rid of plus 3, we minus 3 on both sides. And when we add, 4x equals 5. Now we've got to get rid of 4. 4 is multiplied by x. To undo times, we divide both sides by 4. So I wrote the previous line and divided both sides by 4. So x equals 5/4. You can change it to mixed number by 1 and 1/4. Sometimes you have got two equal fractions. For example, 4x over 5 equals 3/7. Again, if you look, I need to get rid of 4, which is multiplied by x, and 5 that x been divided by. One at a time. I would get rid of my fraction first. So I'm going to get rid of divide by 5. To undo divide by 5, we times both sides by 5. Be careful where you put your times 5. I'll write the question again. Times 5 has to be written above the extension of the line, the fraction line, and the same here. Otherwise, 5 and 5 cannot cancel. So we have 4x times 1 divided by 1, still 4x. And this side, 3 times 5, 15 over 7. To get rid of fraction again, I need to times both sides by 7. Both sides by 7. 15 over 7 times 7. This 7 and 7 cancelled. My fraction has gone. Here I've got 28x, which is 15. Final step, I want to get rid of 28. We write both sides and divide both sides by 28. So x equals 15 over 28. Now, I want to do this question with a new method, which very, very useful and cuts out a lot of work here. I want to do this question in slightly different method. Very useful method, and that's called cross multiplication. Cross multiplication. You only cross multiply when you got two equal fractions. Let me write it again here. 4x over 5 equal 3/7. Now, you've got to remember the only time applicable is when you got two equal fractions. So you cross multiply, you multiply this number or this term by this term, would be the same as when you multiply this number by that number. So we have 4x times 7, although you can do it in your head, this part. I'll write it to show you what happens. Equals 5 times 3. I repeat, only when you got two equal fractions, no other time. 4x times 7, 28x. 3 times 5, 15. And look, I got to this stage straight away. You could have done it here. 28x equals 15. You could do it here. 28x equals 15. So cut out all that work up to here. But only when you got two equal fractions. Look how many times I emphasized. Because students do it where it's not appropriate. The only appropriate time is when you have two equal fractions. So x equals 15 over 28. Let's do one quick one here. 3x over 5 equals, say, 9 over 2. I want to find x. Cross multiply. 3x times 2, 6x. 5 times 9, 45. You see, I got almost to the end of the question. Write it again and divide both sides by 6. 6 and 6 would cancel. X equals 45 divided by 6. How many 6 goes into 45? 7 times. 7, 6, 42. Remainder 3. But this cancels to 7 and a half. Another question based on cross multiplication. Minus 3/4 equals 3x over 5. Now the problem with this minus 3/4, this negative value here, when you got a fraction such as minus 3/4, that negative sign can be written either with the 3 or with the 4 or outside the whole fraction. As long as you got one negative either outside, at the top or at the bottom, you're talking about the same value. And since I want to cross multiply, I want to give this negative to either 3 or 4, not outside. So the choice is entirely mine. Let me give it to the top. So question is minus 3 over 4 equal 3x over 5. Now I've got two equal fractions, so I can do cross multiplication. If I want x to be on my left hand side, I multiply this side first, equate to this one. So 4 times 3x equals minus 3 times 5. 3x times 4 is 12x. And negative 3 times positive 5 is minus 15. And now I want to get rid of 12. 12x means 12 times x. So I'm going to divide both sides by 12. Why? Because to undo times we divide. We divide both sides. So I found the value of x, which is minus 15 over 12. But this can simplify. I can divide top and bottom by 3. So that becomes minus 5 over 4, which is minus 1 1/4. So that's my answer. Let's do some questions now. When I've got values of x on both sides. For example, I've got 2x plus 4 equals x minus 3. But this is the problem. We can't have x on both sides of the equation if you want to find the value of x. So the best way is to go to the side where there is less x. On the left hand side I've got 2x, on the right hand side I've got 1x. Remove that many x from both sides, as you can see on the smaller side. There are less x here than here. So I remove x from both sides. So this side ends up with no x. And here we have 2x, take over x, x, 1x plus 4 equals minus 3. Then I remove 4 from both sides to get rid of the plus 4, and x equals minus 7. And that's the answer. So if you put minus 7 here, 2 lots of minus 7 plus 4 must give you the same as minus 7 minus 3. It should satisfy the equation. Just check here. Just check. 2x plus 4. 2 lots of x, which is 7 plus 4, should be the same as x, which is minus 7 minus 3. 2 lots of minus 7 is minus 14, plus 14, minus 7, minus 3 is minus 10. Minus 14 add 4 is minus 10, equals minus 10. So that means that value of x satisfied both sides of the equation, gave us the same answer. That means my answer was correct. Another question. This time I will involve a bracket in it. So we've got x plus 3 bracket open, x plus 1 equals 2x. First thing, remove the brackets. Here, the number outside the bracket isn't x plus 3, is plus 3. So x plus 3 times x plus 3x plus 3 times 1 plus 3 equals 2x. Let's simplify. 1x and 3x, we have 4x plus 3 equals 2x. I want to get rid of having x on both sides. On the right hand side, I've got less x than on the left hand side. So I remove 2x from both sides. So we have 4x take away 2x, that's 2x plus 3. And 2x take away 2x is 0. I want to find x. I need to get the plus 3 and then get rid of times 2. To get rid of add 3 or positive 3, remove 3 from both sides. Plus 3 minus 3 becomes nothing, and 0 minus 3 becomes minus 3. So 2x equals minus 3. Now get rid of times. Write both sides and divide both sides by 2. Here, when you cancel, we have x equals minus 3 over 2, which is minus 1.5, changing that top-heavy fraction or improper fraction to mixed numbers. More examples with x on both sides. 8 minus 2y, this time I change my variable to y, equals 5 minus 5y. Now, remember what I said when you got the variable x, y, whatever letter you are using as your unknown, you got to go to the side where there is less of that variable. Where is less variable? Here or there? Which is less in value, minus 2y or minus 5y? Minus 5y, because as the negative number gets bigger, they become smaller. So minus 5y is less than minus 2y. So I'm going to add 5y to both sides. Here, no y on this side. On this side we have 8 minus 2y, add 5y. That's plus 3y equals 5. Then remove 8 from both sides. So 3y equals minus 3. Or plus 3y, doesn't matter. Then, in order to find y, I divide both sides by the number which is multiplied by y, which is 3. 3 and 3 cancels. Y equals minus divided by invisible plus 3 divided by 3. That is the value of y for this equation. Let's do also a question where the variable on both sides and involves fraction. Something which frightens students. Shouldn't. Question is minus 3/5 plus x over 10 equals minus 1/5 minus x over 5. Well, if fraction worries you, to get rid of the fractions, we can times every fraction by 10. And no fraction will be left. Minus 3/5, I'm going to put those in different color. Let me write them and make space for them to be written. Times by 10. Remember, 10 got to be written above the fraction line. Times 10. Times 10. Why did I choose 10? Because if I choose 5, then 5 and 10 cancel. I still end up with x over 2. But if I times by 10, 10 is heavier. When I cancel, like here, 5 and 10, I got 2 here. 10 and 10 would cancel, no fraction. 5 and 10 cancels, no fraction. 5 and 10 cancels, no fraction. So we've got minus 3 times 2, that's minus 6. Plus x times 1 divided by 1. Minus 1 times 2 is minus 2. And minus x times 2 is minus 2x. Now, I'm going to the side where there is less x. Minus 2x is less than plus 1x because it's negative. The number is bigger. But negative 2 is smaller than plus 1. So I'm going to undo by adding 2x to both sides. You can see y minus 2x plus 2x goes, and my equation is now minus 6 plus 3x, x plus 2x, 3x equals minus 2. I need to get rid of minus 6 and plus 3. Plus 3 is multiplied by x. I'll leave it to last. So add plus 6 to get rid of the minus 6. As I go along, the x side gets lighter and lighter. There's only 3x left here. Minus 2 at 6 is 4 or plus 4. Final operation is to divide both sides by 3. 3x means 3 times x, divide both sides by 3. So x equals 4/3. Which is top heavy, 1 and 1/3. One more question involving fractions. Minus x over 2 plus 1 equals minus a quarter. Get rid of fractions. If I times everything by 4, all fractions have gone. I do that in red. Let me just write them and create space for this multiplying by 4. Each term is multiplied by 4. Since the fraction, 4 going to be written above the fraction line. Times by 4. Times by 4. Now when we simplify, there'll be no fraction left. 2 and 4 cancels, so it's 2 times minus x is minus 2x. Plus 1 times 4 plus 4. This 4 and that 4 cancels. We have equals minus 1. So it becomes a very, very simple equation. To get rid of add 4, we remove 4 from both sides. So we have minus 2x equals minus 5. Minus 1, minus 4. Then here, I write the equation again here. I want to find x. I need to get rid of minus 2, which is multiplied by x. So divide both sides by minus 2. Cancel. So x equals minus divided by minus is positive 5 over 2. That top heavy, 2 into 5 goes twice, remainder 1. So x is 5 over 2 or 2.5. Now we come to end of this lesson. Solving simple equations, that's the name of the equation, simple, not necessarily means simple, is a long subject. So I need to do it in few lessons. What we've done today, we solved some simple equation with unknown on one side and unknown on both sides, and I just touched opening brackets on one side of the equation as well. That's what I'm going to do with the next lesson, having an equation with brackets and also with x on both sides. I hope you've enjoyed the lesson up to now. Again, I've tried to make it as easy as possible and explain as much as possible to make maths enjoyable for you. I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye now.